So this is something a little new, not something I've done before, but I think when a friend shows you something that bothers you, you should speak up. So I'm going to tell you a story about Barry Morgenstein. He's a world-class photographer, and he gets invited onto the Best of New Jersey podcast. You haven't heard of it? That's okay. We'll explain that in a second. And it sounds harmless enough. He's bringing his art, his book, and not a flamethrower. And then at the last second, these geniuses suddenly rescind the invite. Why? Because they did a robust background check on his social media. Translation, they scrolled his Twitter feed for 15 minutes and clutched their pearls when they saw a Jew unapologetically calling out anti-Semitism and Hamas apologists. Oh, the horror. Let's stop pretending this was about remaining neutral. Neutral would be letting him come on and talk about his book. Neutral would be staying out of his politics by, not dragging politics into it to begin with. But what they really mean by neutral is woke. Because neutrality, it doesn't exist anymore in the woke brain. In their heads, saying nothing is neutrality, and saying anything they don't like is divisive. And if you're calling out the murder of innocent fathers or daring to say you support the police, suddenly you're just too damn controversial for the Best of New Jersey podcast. And that name, by the way, the Best of New Jersey, really, you're not even the pretty good of New Jersey. You're more like the sort of okay if you're stuck in traffic on the turnpike of New Jersey smelling like Axe body spray. Do you honestly think anyone is sitting around saying, you know what represents the Garden State? A podcast with an audience smaller than a bagel shop on a Tuesday morning. You want to talk about representation? I took a look at your page. Nothing about Jewish businesses. Nothing about Jewish culture. Nothing about Jewish art. Teaneck, Lakewood, Cherry Hill. These are whole Jewish communities, erased like they don't exist, but you'll feature coffee shops, cupcake stores, and some guy who makes artisanal dog leashes out of hemp. That's the best, huh? Meanwhile, an actual Jewish artist gets shown the door for being too polarizing. Funny how that works. And here's what really stinks. Barry turned down paying work to be on this thing. He actually made a sacrifice because he thought this was about art, about books, about photography. But instead of celebrating the universality of art, which is supposed to transcend politics, you reduce the whole thing to, we don't like your tweets. Imagine Mozart being canceled because some town crier didn't like his diary entries. That's what this is. It's pretty cowardly, and it's censorship dressed up as moral authority. And what makes it laughable is the entire scale of it. If CNN drops you, fine, that hurts. If the New York Times slams the door, that's news. But a startup podcast no one's heard of? That's like being banned from the all-you-can-eat shrimp buffet at Red Lobster and thinking it's a national tragedy against seafood. Guys, you're not the NPR. You're not even Jersey 101.5. You're a podcast with fewer downloads than Barry has Instagram likes or dislikes. Let me spell it out. Silencing a Jewish artist because he dares to speak against anti-Semitism is not staying out of politics. It is politics. It's choosing a side, and the side you choose is cowardice. The side you choose is prejudice, and the side you choose is erasing voices that make you uncomfortable. That is not neutrality. That is complicity by definition. Barry is out there calling out the people who cheer the murder of young fathers and headless babies. He's calling out those who glorify violence against cops. He's standing up against anti-Semites, and for that, your brilliant marketing department decided he was too toxic. No, he was too honest, and honesty is the one thing woke cowards can't handle or abide by. So here's the bottom line. Art matters because it speaks across divisions. It pulls people together even when politics pushes them apart. Photography freezes the human condition in ways words just can't. It's supposed to rise above this nonsense. But thanks to the Best of New Jersey podcast, instead of focusing on art, we're here talking about how a small-time show tried to muzzle a big-time talent. Barry, keep doing what you're doing. Keep shooting, keep publishing, keep creating, because your art will outlive their podcast. In 5 years, your photos will still be displayed on walls. Their podcast will still be struggling to hit triple digits on downloads. That's the real Best of New Jersey. So to Vinny and Company, Congratulations. You didn't protect your audience from polarization. You protected them from art, truth, and courage. You protected them from hearing from a Jewish artist who refuses to be silent. And that tells us all we need to know about who you really are. I hope you appreciate the attention you're about to receive. It's probably the biggest your podcast will ever be, and will ever be again. Love you, Barry. Keep it up. I can't wait for my book. See you tomorrow on the podcast.
Rap it hard.